Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the Banished and Atriox, and we're going to be looking at who they actually are and what their intentions may be in Halo Wars 2. Before we start, make sure you leave a like if you enjoy the video. So the Banished are a group who rebelled against the original Covenant for reasons that we unfortunately don't know yet. These reasons may be ideological differences in the treatment of foreign artifacts, seeing as they're on the Ark, but that's not a given yet. Interestingly, the Banished actually fought against the Covenant during the Human-Covenant War, so at one point they could be considered humanity's pseudo-allies. When the Great Schism began in 2552, the Banished served as a faction for Jewel-Harney and Sangheili to peacefully coexist, which is probably where they got quite a lot of their Sangheili warriors from. Seeing as the Banished didn't have places such as the Sacred Promissary to develop weapons, they took a more scavenging approach to building their arms. They managed to salvage a large number of vehicles and weapons after the fall of the Covenant, and likely did the same thing when the post-war Covenant factions began breaking down. This explains why they use a load of old tech in Halo Wars 2. However, they don't just take this tech and use it as it is, they add a brute twist to it. For example, the Wraith gets red paint and spikes on the front, and the Banshee gets more plating on the hull and door, along with a really cool Jewel-Harney styled repainting. In 2559, the Spirit of Fire's crew first encounters the Banished on the Ark. Right now, the only explanation for the Banished actually being on the Ark is to further expand their forces. But how? This suggests that there's something worth owning on the Ark. Now this could be another species that we don't know about yet, that the Banished are trying to recruit, or it could just be leftover vehicles, weapons, etc. from the Human Covenant War that they're going to take, modify, and use. Okay, so who's this Atriox guy then? Atriox is a Jewel-Harney warlord and the leader of the Banished. He's a pretty vicious brute who has the upper hand on other Covenant Remnant leaders due to his experience fighting the Old Covenant. He's also seemingly pretty damn intelligent, given that he can collect and repurpose Old Covenant tech to fit his needs. Atriox's weapon of choice is a gravity or plasma mace, we're not too sure right now, that's made out of old parts of a gravity hammer. Okay, so back to the Banished. During an interview with GameSpot, Kevin Grace, who is the managing director of Halo Wars 2, said that the Banished had been referred to in past Halo games and stories. Now, the question you're probably asking right now is, well, where and when? Well, there are two theories circulating right now about this, and the first is that the Banished are actually a splinter of Seiza Refume's heretic faction that's present in Halo 2. Now, to me, this makes sense, seeing as they split off from the Covenant before the Schism and fought them during the Covenant War, albeit not successfully. This would be super interesting if it actually turns out to be true, as it would shed more light on Seiza's faction that is currently pretty much in the dark. We honestly don't know much about this faction, aside from the Halo 2 anniversary terminals and of course the first half of Halo 2, but other than that we really don't know much. The second theory circulating is that the Prophet of Regret indirectly referenced the Banished during this cutscene in Halo Wars 1.
The war with the humans will require a great deal many more machines than we can currently muster.
I will take what we have.
And leave us defenseless? No. The Ancients will provide for us.
Now, Regret could have easily been talking about other UNSC forces, but they didn't actually know the location of the Shield world. It was only the Spirit of Fire's crew that did. I'm not saying this 100% means that Regret was referring to the Banished, but with the way that Bungie left this quote unexplained and open-ended, I wouldn't be surprised if 343 bends it without actually bending it, of course, to act as a reference to the Banished. Just to note, it's worth saying that Bungie likely left this quote open-ended in anticipation that the originally planned Halo Wars sequel story was actually going to go ahead, and unfortunately, as we know, it didn't. Interestingly though, one of the ideas for a sequel was very, very close to Halo Wars 2's story. There's a link on the screen right now to go and watch a video made by Halo Canon where he talks about this sequel, and of course many more ideas for Halo Wars 2 too. With this idea for a sequel being so close to Creative Assembly's Halo Wars 2, I can't help but think that they gained a little bit of inspiration from this old story. And that brings us to the end of today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow I'm going to have a video out that's going to be a top 5 tips for Halo Wars 2's open beta in a collaboration with Fletch from Ultimate Halo, so I highly suggest you check that out tomorrow. And then the day after that, I'm going to have a video out talking about Serena and Halo Wars 2, and basically if she's going to be in the game, if so, how she can be in the game, and if she's not going to be in the game, why. So I hope you look forward to those videos, and I'll see you later.